Theories of motivation. Motivation. Movere, a Latin word, means to move. Movere is a Latin word. So motivation comes from a Latin word movere, that means to move. Motivation is a goal-seeking or goal-directed or goal-oriented behavior or activity. Behavior, function of a person's interaction within a situation. Function of a person's interaction within a situation. Two types of motivation: intrinsic motivation or intrinsic values, extrinsic motivation or external values. Intrinsic motivation or internal values are desire in learning by own self, more immediate. This intrinsic motivation is more immediate, and extrinsic motivation or external values are awards, money and certificates. Intrinsic motivation are two types of motivation: intrinsic motivation or intrinsic values. Desire in learning by own self, these are more immediate, and extrinsic motivation or external values like awards, money, certificates. Elements of motivation. Three elements of motivation. First is needs, second is drives, and third is incentives. So how many types of elements are there in the motivation? Three types of elements: needs, drives and incentives. Achievement motivation. What do you mean by achievement motivation? Achieve something difficult by overcoming obstacles as soon as possible to attain a high degree of excellence. Achieve something difficult by overcoming obstacles as soon as possible to attain a degree of excellence. Theories of motivation. Theories of achievement motivation. First theory is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, proposed by Abraham Maslow. This is a theory of psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, of Behavioral Motivation. He worked on satisfaction progression principle. So first theory is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a psychological theory or theory of psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper. What is the name of his paper? A Theory of Human Motivation, of Behavioral Motivation. He worked on satisfaction progression principle. According to him, 5 stages of needs. How many stages of needs under the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? 5 stages. First is physiological needs. Economic needs. First step. Universal human needs to fulfill intrinsic satisfaction on a higher level. Physiological needs are two types: state and trials. Trials are long-term, unchanging demands required for basic human life. Example: homeostasis, health, food, water, sleep, clothes, shelter and safety needs. Physiological needs are the economic needs, also called as economic needs. First step, universal human needs to fulfill the intrinsic satisfaction on a higher level. Physiological needs are two types: state and trials. Trials are for long-term, unchanging demands required for the basic human life. Example: homeostasis, health, food, water, sleep, clothes, shelter and safety needs. The second need is the safety and security needs. Under safety and security needs, there are personal security like shelter, emotional security, emotional bond, financial security or job security, health and well-being security like accidents or illness. Post-traumatic stress disorder or transgenerational trauma can be developed due to troubled childhood in an individual. So safety and security needs: personal security like shelter, emotional security, financial security like job security, health and well-being, accidents or illness. Post-traumatic stress disorder or transgenerational trauma. The third need is the affiliation and social belongingness needs. This is the interpersonal relationships with society. This can override need for safety. This is strong in childhood due to abusive parents. Humans need to love and to be loved both sexually and non-sexually by others. Example: love, friendships, intimacy, family, social groups, peer pressure, family members, intimate partners, mentors, colleagues, confidants. Large or small groups. Large groups like clubs, co-worker, religions groups, sport teams, gangs, online communities, professional organization. So affiliation and social belongingness needs are interpersonal relationships with society. These are strong in the childhood due to abusive parents and can override the need for safety, the second need of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Humans need to love and to be loved, both sexually and non-sexually, by others. Examples of affiliation and social belongingness needs are love, friendship, intimacy, family, social groups, peer pressure, family members, intimate partners, mentors, colleagues, and confidants. Two types of groups: large groups and small groups. Large groups include clubs, co-workers, religions groups, sport teams, gangs, online communities, and professional organizations. Self-esteem. Self-esteem needs: ego needs or self-respect, status needs, need for recognition, need for status, fame or glory, need for importance and respect from others. Low self-esteem. Self-esteem needs are two types: low self-esteem needs and high self-esteem needs. Low self-esteem needs inferiority complex. Low self-esteem needs lead to inferiority complex. Psychological imbalance causes depression that lowers the self-esteem. According to Maslow, two versions of self-esteem are there: lower version and higher version. Lower version need for respect from others like status, example status, recognition, fame or glory, prestige, attention. Higher version of self-esteem need for self-respect, example strength, competence, mastery, self-confidence, independence and freedom. This higher version have guidelines, but lower version don't have any guidelines. Low self-esteem, inferiority complex, physiological imbalance can causes depression that lowers the self-esteem. Ego needs or self-esteem needs. The fifth stage or the last stage of Maslow's hierarchy needs is the need for self-actualization. Self-actualization: to understand this need, people have to succeed in previous needs. Self-actualization means what a man can be, he must be. Realization of one's full potential, a value-based system. Goal or explicit motive, reward-based system. Explicit motive, reward-based system. Examples like mate acquisition, parenting, utilizing and developing abilities, utilizing and developing talents, pursuing goals. Example: meditation, nirvana, etc. Self-actualization: realization of one's full potential, a value-based system. Goal or explicit motive, reward-based system. Mate acquisition, parenting, utilizing and developing abilities and talents, pursuing goals, meditation and nirvana are the examples of self-actualization. The second theory of achievement motivation is the Douglas MacGregor's X and Y theory. Douglas MacGregor created these theories when working in the MIT Sloan School of Management in 1950s and to 1960s. So in which year Douglas MacGregor developed the theory of X and Y theory? He created these theories when working in the MIT Sloan School of Management in 1950s to 1960s. X and Y theory are the two contrasting models managed by managers in the human resource management, organizational behavior and organizational communication, organizational development. X is the external rewards. Douglas MacGregor X and Y theory. Limitation of this theory: these two theories are only assumptions, don't imply hard or soft management. These two theories are not in continuum, but they are on extremes. X and Y theory are two contrasting models managed by managers for human resource management, organizational behavior, communication and development. Limitations: these two theories are only assumptions, don't imply hard or soft management. X and Y theories are not in continuum or not in average, they are on extremes. Theory X: we versus they approach. Theory X is also called as we versus they approach. According to this theory, managers assumes that a typical worker has limited ambition, avoids his responsibility, and he is individual goal oriented, less intelligent, lazier. So managers use rewards or punishment as motivation by a hands-on approach to management, typical workforce. Theory X has two approaches, hard approach and soft approach. Hard approach like close supervision, intimidation, immediate punishment, and soft approach like less strict rules, cooperative employees. Hard approach is too hard approach and soft approach is too soft approach, can lead to low output workforce. To extreme spectrum, we should apply middle approach. Theory X is also called as the we versus they theory. Rewards or punishment. Two types of approaches, hard approach and soft approach. Hard approach like close supervision, intimidation, immediate punishment. Soft approach like less restrictions, cooperative employees. Too soft and too hard, so they can produce low output workforce. This two extreme spectrum, we should apply middle approach. Theory Y is contrast to theory X. Managers assume employers or employees are internally motivated and enjoy their job, and they don't need a direct reward in return. The fourth theory is name of this theory is motivation hygiene theory. Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation is also called as motivation's hygiene theory. Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation. Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation is also called as motivation hygiene theory. Proposed by Friedrich Herzberg in 1959. He is a behavioral scientist. According to Herzberg, opposite of satisfaction is no satisfaction, and opposite of dissatisfaction is no dissatisfaction. Unless opposite of satisfaction is not the dissatisfaction. So, Herzberg two-factor theory of motivation proposed by Friedrich Herzberg is also called as motivation hygiene theory. He proposed it in 1959. He is a behavioral scientist. According to Herzberg, opposite of satisfaction is no satisfaction, and opposite of dissatisfaction is no dissatisfaction. Two types of job factors, motivating factors and hygiene factors. Motivating factors are inherent to work. Motivating factor result in positive satisfaction. Example, motivating factors are also called as satisfiers or physiological needs. Motivating factors are recognition, sense of achievement, growth and promotional opportunities, responsibility of ownership, meaningfulness of the work, challenge. Hygiene factors are essential for the existence of motivation or motivating factors. Hygiene factors are not the motivators. No positive satisfaction for long term. But they prevent dissatisfaction. They can't provide the positive satisfaction, but they prevent dissatisfaction. These are the extrinsic to work or external factors. Hygiene factors are also called as dissatisfiers or maintenance factors. Example of hygiene factors are pay or salary, company and administrative policies, fringe benefits. Fringe benefits are health care plans or mediclaims, benefits for family members, employee health programs. Motivating factors are also called as satisfiers or physiological needs. Hygiene factors are extrinsic to work and called dissatisfier or maintenance factors. Motivating factors are inherent to work. Another hygiene factors are physiological working conditions in the organization's employee status, interpersonal relationships with boss and co-workers and peers, job security and supervision. Herzberg's two-factor theory is broadly accepted, but it has some limitations. Like, he focused on satisfaction and ignored the productivity of organization. He ignored situational variables. This Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation is broadly accepted, but it has some limitations. Like, he focused only on the satisfaction factor and he totally ignored the productivity of the organization. He also ignored the situational variables. The fourth theory is Adlerford-Arch theory. Adlerford-Arch theory. He used Maslow's hierarchy of needs into his Arch theory. Arch theory means ERG. E means existence, R means relatedness, and G means growth. Related existence, physiological and safety needs of humans. Maslow's physiological and safety needs. Adlerford's Arch theory, he used Maslow's hierarchy of needs into his Arch theory. First is existence, physiological and safety needs of humans, basic material requirements of humans. These are the lower order needs. So which type of needs are the lower order needs under Adlerford's Arch theory? Maslow's physiological and safety needs. R means relatedness. This is the interpersonal relationships, social status. Maslow's affiliation and social belongingness needs, social love and need, external components of Maslow's social esteem classification. Relatedness factor is included in the external components of Maslow's social esteem classification. Growth, intrinsic desire for personal development. Intrinsic or internal components from Maslow's esteem category. Characters of self-actualization. This is the higher order needs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, relatedness under the Arch theory is the external components of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and growth of Adlerford's Arch theory is the intrinsic or internal components of Maslow's esteem category. Then, according to Adlerford, when needs of self-actualization and self-esteem needs are not met, then an individual should increase or double his efforts in lower category needs like existence needs. Existence type needs are lower category needs. The fifth theory is the McClelland's theory of needs. McClelland's theory of needs were proposed by David McClelland. Motivation means movement or motion. These McClelland's theory of needs are three types of needs: need for achievement, need for independence, and need for power. So fifth type of theory is the McClelland's theory of needs, proposed by David McClelland. Three types of needs. First is need for achievement. Motivation means movement or motion. Need for achievement, need to excel. Self-imposed standard of excellence by doing challenging tasks. Goal orientation. Need for achievement means need to excel. Self-imposed standard of excellence by doing challenging tasks. Goal orientation. Second is the need for independence. Entrepreneurs don't conform routine-based jobs and practices, and they are the masters of their own goals or activities. Need for independence. Entrepreneurs don't conform routine-based jobs and practices. They are the masters of their own goals or activities. Third is the need for power. Sales drive of his or her ideas by influencing other people, establishing and expanding their organization. Need for power is the controlling the activities and actions of other people, but entrepreneurs don't develop emotional bonds with other people. Entrepreneurs, their need for affiliation is low. Need for power means sales drive of his or her ideas by influencing other people, establishing and expanding their organization, by controlling the activities and actions of other people. But entrepreneurs don't develop emotional bonds with other people as their need for affiliation is low. The sixth theory is the drive theory. It is also called as the push theory of motivation. according to drive theory, one's behavior is pushed towards the goal by driving states within a person. Driving states are the internal states within a person. Driving states are internal within a person. To push one to achieve his or her goal. After receiving his goal, intensity of driving states will be reduced. After receiving their goals, intensity of driving states will be reduced. Drive theory is also called as push theory of motivation by using driving states. According to this theory, motivation consists of a driving state, the goal directed behavior initiated by the driving state, the attainment of an appropriate goal, the reduction of driving state, and subjected satisfaction and relief when goals is reached. Motivation. The seventh theory is the incentive theory, means motivational value of a reinforce. It is the contrast of the drive theory or push theory. So, incentive theory is also called as the theories of motivation. Pull theories of motivation means goal objects pull behavior towards them. Incentive theory means motivational value of a reinforce. This is also the contrast of the drive theory or push theory. So, incentive theory is also called as the pull theories of motivation, as the goal objects pull behavior towards them. Two types of incentives are there: positive incentives and negative incentives. Positive incentives are wages, salaries, bounces, and vacations. So, how many types of incentives are there? Two types, positive and negative. Under positive incentives are wages, salaries, bounces, and vacations. The eighth theory is the expectancy theory, proposed by Victor H. Vroom. According to this theory, people will be motivated to do things to reach a goal if they believe in the worth of the goal. According to this theory, force equal to valence into expectancy. So, expectancy theory was eighth theory. Expectancy theory was proposed by Victor H. Vroom. According to this theory, people will be motivated to do things to reach a goal if they believe in the worth of that goal. According to this theory, force equal to valence into expectancy. Force equal to valence into expectancy. SWOT analysis is a technique to enable an individual or group of people to move from everyday problems and traditional strategies to a fresh perspective. A technique to enable an individual or group of people to move from everyday problems and traditional strategies to a fresh perspective. SWOT analysis is an important fundamental tool to be used in marketing management and other business applications. Fundamental tool. Your business faces four types of factors. By these four types of factors, you can identify the problems in your business plan. By identifying these four types of factors of SWOT analysis, you can identify the problems that are facing your business is facing the problems. You can identify. S means strengths, W means weakness, O means opportunities, and T means threats. Strengths and weaknesses are the internal factors. Opportunities and threats are the external factors. SWOT analysis is first proposed by Richard Humphrey in 1960s to 1970s by doing a research project at the Stanford University. So, who proposed SWOT analysis first? By Richard Humphrey in 1960s to 1970s by doing a research project at the Stanford University. Strengths and weaknesses are in the internal environment. Internal environment includes production, finance, and marketing. Opportunities and threats are in external environment that includes products and services. So, strengths and weaknesses are included in internal environment that includes production, finance, and marketing. And opportunities and threats are included in the external environment that includes products and services. Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths are assets of an organization and weaknesses are the liabilities of an organization. Strengths are within the control of entrepreneurs. Strengths are a company's core competences. Strengths occur at the present. Strengths are positive, tangible, and intangible attributes of an organization. Example: customer goodwill, brand loyalty, financial resources, technical expertise, product features like utility and durability of the products, skilled manpower, good location, motivated staff. Weaknesses can detract the organization from reaching its goal. Example of weaknesses: obsolete equipments, poor performance, limited product life, high price, capital security, outdated technology, etc. Obsolete equipments. Positive, tangible, and intangible attributes of an organization are the strengths, a company's core competencies. Within the strengths and weaknesses are within the control of entrepreneurs. Product features like utility and durability. Opportunities are the outside conditions, positive favorable factors, but opportunities are beyond the control of entrepreneurs. Example of opportunities: cheap and raw materials, few and weak competitors in the market, growing demand, favorable governmental policy, and low interest on loans. So opportunities are outside conditions, positive favorable factors, but opportunities are beyond the control of entrepreneurs. Example: cheap and raw materials, few and weak competitors in the market, growing demands, favorable governmental policy, and low interest on loans. The last is the threats. Threats are uncontrollable or beyond the control of entrepreneurs. Negative, unfavorable factors of SWOT analysis. Threats are the external elements, cause trouble for business, compound or increase the vulnerability that are related to weaknesses of an organization. So threats increases the weaknesses of an organization. Threats are uncontrollable or beyond the control of entrepreneurs. Negative, unfavorable external elements cause trouble for business, increase or compound the vulnerability that are related with the weaknesses of an organization. Example: population shifts, increase in competition, new technologies, changes in governmental regulations, changes in climate, government and bureaucracy, restive labor force. Examples of threats are population shifts, increase in competition, new technologies, changes in governmental regulations, changes in climate, governmental bureaucracy, restive labor force. Who needs SWOT analysis? Business unit, job holders, and companies need SWOT analysis. When industry condition is unfavorable, then they need a SWOT analysis for their organization or enterprise. So who needs SWOT analysis? Three types of individuals are there who need SWOT analysis. Three types: first is business unit, second is job holders, and third is companies. When industry condition is unfavorable, then they need a SWOT analysis for their organization or enterprise. How to conduct SWOT analysis? How many steps are there included in the SWOT analysis? 3 steps are there that are included in a SWOT analysis. First step is analyze internal and external environment or situation analysis. Situation analysis means internal and external analysis. Second is the perform SWOT analysis and document. These has 7 steps. How many steps are there in the second step of SWOT analysis? 7 steps. Purpose of conducting a SWOT may be a wide or narrow, and general or specific. Under this second step, background preparation is carried out in 2 ways. First is exploratory and second is detailed. 2 types of background preparation: exploratory and detailed. The third step of SWOT analysis is prepare action plans. Prepare action plans after completion of the SWOT analysis in the second phase. Pitfalls of SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis should be conducted regularly for effective control of your organization. SWOT analysis can be very subjective. Use the SWOT analysis as a guide, not as a prescription. Choose a suitable SWOT leader, facilitator. SWOT leader or facilitator. SWOT analysis can be very subjective due to great degree of uncertainty in the market. Don't try to disguise your weaknesses in your organization. Do's and don'ts in a SWOT analysis. Don't allow SWOT to become a blame-laying exercise. So three steps or three stages of a SWOT analysis. First is the analyze internal and external environment or situation analysis. Situation analysis means internal and external analysis. Perform SWOT analysis and document has 7 steps. Background preparation is carried out in 2 ways, exploratory and detailed. Purpose of conducting a SWOT may be wide or narrow and general or specific. Prepare action plans only after the completion of SWOT analysis in the second phase. The pitfalls of SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis should be conducted regularly for effective control of your organization. SWOT analysis can be very subjective due to great degree of uncertainty in the market. Choose a suitable SWOT leader or facilitator. Use the SWOT analysis as a guide, not as a prescription. Don't allow SWOT to become a blame-laying exercise. So do's and don'ts in a SWOT analysis.